everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I'm going to be prepping for 2024 in my planner, but as well as kind of like my life. So I think this title is going to be how I'm prepping for 2024 in my planner and in my life. Kind of like what I plan my 2024 planner process is going to look like. Before I recorded this, I had really hoped that I was actually going to do it and then could tell you more about what I did. But I just haven't gotten around to most of it yet. So I'm going to talk about what I plan on doing, what steps I have taken, and also like kind of my hopes for 2024. This is actually the third video I've recorded this week, mostly by accident. I filmed a video that I thought was going to be this one, but it turned out it was actually like a talk through some options for 2024 planners, which is a great video, but also just like not the one that I was planning on posting this week. And so I was like, oh, well, that's great, but I didn't actually talk about like what I'm going to be doing and like my process behind like prepping my planner for 2024. And I feel like that needs to come first because I don't spend too much time on this planner in particular in that video. I actually talk about a few other options for other parts, like if I wanted to add another book to my system. Spoiler alert. And I just felt like this one needed to come first. And then I, in a stroke of inspiration, and I don't even know if I'm going to post it yet, I recorded something that I called, So You Want to Start a Ring Planner. And basically, I thought I would do like a couple video series on like the steps that I personally think are really useful to starting a ring planner, starting from like ground zero and then working your way forward. And the video that I ended up recording would basically be what I call video zero, because I don't specifically talk about like specifics about a planner. I talk about like system and mindset that I think I needed and other people might need to have to start a ring planner. And I recorded that, and so that'll be coming soon as well. Either as scheduled content for December or just like randomly, because I'm gonna edit it this week as well, hopefully. So yeah, I guess like sneak peek into what's coming to the YouTube channel. But regardless, I recorded those both on Sunday and it's Tuesday now, and I was going to edit those, and I was like, well, wait, that's not what I told my patrons I was going to post. So, I need to like keep my word. And none of my patrons would mind, and no one on YouTube would mind either, but I thought that this video was really important, and I realized that there were things that I really wanted to talk about in this video that are not just like planner process specific, that I kind of want to mull on, that I think is really important for me, but also I hope it's important to other people. Yeah, all right. All of that like intro and caveat, let's get into it. I want to talk about how I'm going to prep this planner for 2024. I have not fully done a lot of my like planner review questions process. That would theoretically come first. So here are my notes, and I'm just going to keep them on screen for the most part today. So you're welcome to read what's on the screen if you feel so inclined. There's nothing special. I'm going to be talking about all of these things, but I'm going to mostly keep this on screen today. So this might be a mostly audio, less visual video. So for that, I apologize. Okay, yes, theoretically, as I'm recording this, what I would have done was grab all of my inserts and time myself hole punching them, cutting them, putting them in so that I could give you like a timeline for how long that would take me. But I would also have worked through some of the questions that I have about for myself about my system, and then I could talk about those things with you. But instead, I'm just going to talk to you about the what and not the what I found out, if that makes sense. So, what I plan on doing as my process for setting up for 2024 is I have made a list of all the inserts that need to switch out in the new year, either monthly, weekly, yearly, semesterly for school, what have you. I made a list of all the inserts and then what I need to do to set those inserts up. And also like how many I would need of a monthly insert, for the year. So like social media calendar, well, I need 12 of those. But technically, I only need to print like 6 of them because they're double-sided. But regardless, I would need 12 social media calendars because they're monthly. I need 1 yearly bill tracker, what have you. And then I've started making tasks. I need to cut and punch inserts. I need to move my dates from my future log to my monthlies. I need to move holidays to my monthlies, perpetual dates, that kind of thing. Movies and books that are coming out, they need to go on my monthlies. I need to work on yearly goals. I need to archive my 2023 inserts. I need to review my 2023 planner, which I have those questions here, and set intentions for 2024. I have some of those questions here. And I have one question: what am I using the lists around the month on 2 pages for? Which I will show you that because I have not figured that out, but there are some people that have come up with some good ideas. So this insert here that's on the back of December of 2024, and I don't want to show you, I've already got a ton of stuff in January. And then this insert here that's on the front page of the January. What am I using those inserts for? So I have a question. I need to like think through that because it doesn't matter if it's left blank. I consider the other sides, like the actual monthly calendars, important enough that like if those stay blank, it's really not a big deal to me, but it would still be really cool to use what's already in my planner. So I did leave that question for myself. What I plan on doing with this list once I go through it is make a like more evergreen, not Evergreen Inks, but in terms of like longevity, insert that I can just put back in my like planner section as like a reference. This is what you need to do every year. But it might be more generic. So I have listed out all of the inserts that I used in 2023. Well, maybe even in the next couple of months, like those inserts will change. I would want like something less precious with a list of the inserts and sections that I have. But if I was going to make something like decorative dashboard-y, I would make it more generic so that it's more like system-based and not insert-based. So I would say like print and cut 2024 inserts, and then I'd leave it and have the specifics of the inserts on a different page, if that makes any sense at all. And yeah, I want to do that, and I've got that here. And then in terms of, so theoretically, before I print out my inserts, I'd like to go through my 2023 planner, look at every single type of insert that I have in here, and like ask if it's bringing value to my system. Because right now, like these are 30 millimeter rings, right? I'm in an A6 30 millimeter ring planner for anybody who's new here. It is very full. Even without this pen, currently it does not close because I do have my 2024 monthlies in here already. So there is room to minimize, I guess is my point. And I think like switching over into a new year is a really great way to, like a great time to do it. It doesn't have to be the time. You can change and modify and adapt your system at any time. Like I'm not saying it has to be the beginning of a new year, but there is something I don't have exactly the right word that I want, but there's something inspiring about the new year, that you can like make big changes at the new year. So like sometimes that, a lot of times that does pull people to make like good new decisions or what have you. But I don't think um like that's the end all be all. Like you don't have to wait until the new year to change something. I think that's very close-minded. Um However, what I'd really like to do, what I was talking about, is go through each type of my insert and ask a set of questions. And they're very similar to the questions that I ask in my weekly review, just very planner focused, because I'm thinking about like my planner system for the new year. And those questions, I'll list them off for you. I have them written down. And if I remember, I will write them in the description box below. But you're welcome to screenshot them just in case. They are this set of questions right here in between my fingernails. Okay. But I will read them off for you and kind of like talk about them as well. So the first thing is, what is working in my planner and why? So like as I go through, I look at my month on 2 pages and I go, is this working? Yes. Why is it working? And maybe it's just like that's how my brain works in terms of holding monthly information. Like the monthly list of bullet journal never worked for me because I'm more of a visual, see things week to week to week basis. Maybe that's all that I answer for, is it working? Why? Right? But I want to do that for each like set of inserts. What's not working? Okay, I open up and we're gonna go to this week. I don't think I have anything really like personal sensitive because I haven't written my schedule in yet. Here is my weekly. I recently moved my habits to the top of my rolling task list, inspired by Lindsay Scribbles, of course. And so now I don't have a specific use for this section anymore. It wasn't working, right? Like it when I lots of trying to say the same thing in multiple different ways all at once. Sorry about that. I wouldn't write down the habits that I wanted here because it took too much energy at the beginning of every day or at the end of every night for the following day. It just did. It was great in practice, and I thought that I needed it to keep it in front of my mind, and I do it about like 35% of the time every week. Like I'd do really good on Sunday, and then maybe I'd do it Wednesday again, and then maybe Saturday. I don't know if that's 30%, but you get my drift. Like I do it less than half of the time in a given week. And then fall hit and I got really low energy and I started to do it even less. And this page was just blank and I was also not keeping track of my habits. So it didn't work for me and I needed to change it. But now this space is left empty. And so when going through this little section back here, and asking, well, what's not working, I think one of the things I'm going to say is, well, the right side of my weekly insert currently is not working. I am not using it for any purpose, right? Why isn't it working? And do I need to make more effort to make it work again? Like, do I need to reaffirm the goals that I have for that insert? Or do I need to drop that insert or replace it with something differently? So if I have a problem with something, and does that mean I need to throw away this entire weekly insert and replace it with something different? Do I need to get rid of a weekly altogether? Or do I need to come up with a different use for this particular part of this insert? And I need to evaluate that. And I want to do that for each section. So let's say like my daily pages weren't working. Here's today, and I haven't even set it up today. I'm really low energy right now, as I said. So filling 2 whole pages right now is actually really difficult for me. I like this space. I like having the opportunity for this space. It's amazing. As opposed to Pocket, where I didn't have the space when I wanted it. Um, but I'm not filling this page, and sometimes I'm leaving this page blank. Am I okay with that? Do I want to make a better effort to journal on this page, or do I need to rethink my whole dailies, right? Um, so again, that kind of question I ask myself. Sorry, trying to find the right section. I lost it. This is my notes section. Pretend you didn't see anything that was in there. I don't know what was on that list. Okay. So what can I remove? It's kind of similar to what's not working, but like, let's say like in my finances section, there's a lot of blank inserts. They're not working. Having my finances actually like fully back here is not working. I need some sort of indication or reminder to even look at this section back here. It's not working. Can I remove a lot of these inserts? Probably. The following question is, does what I remove need to be replaced? Does it need to be moved somewhere else? Does it need to be moved somewhere else in my planner? Or do I need to have a separate notebook or a separate planner in my system to move that information or what was supposed to be kept on that insert? And then once I'm through with all of that, looking at what I have currently, I ask myself, does anything need to be added? So for example, you're going to get a little bit of a teaser of what I'm going to talk about in my 2024 Techo Kaiji video, but I'm not memory keeping very well right now and I want to. So I would put that under, does anything need to be added? Well, I want to add a type of memory keeping. Would it be better in this planner, or do I need to add a separate notebook or planner? Work, that kind of thing. And theoretically I would go through and I'd make a list of like things that I want to add and then start considering like where will it go? And then what/how has my mindset and attitude towards planning and the community changed this year? I've been in the planner community on Instagram since 2020, but I've been like on the fringes of the planner community since I started a bullet journal in 2017. And I would probably say that my relationship with the planner community has changed the most drastically in this calendar year. And I kind of want to talk about like the good things that have changed between like how I think about planning, right? Like I made a lot of good steps in my planner and my relationship with planning. And I made some good steps with my relationship with the planning community too. So I want to talk about those things. But I also want to talk about like the bad things that I've either started doing or started thinking about. And I also want to talk about what the truly ugly things that I've, I don't know, done, thought about, interacted with, like just the good, the bad, and like the truly ugly about my planner, my planning system, and also the planner community. Because for me right now, it is very hard to separate planning from the community. And I think that's one of like the truly ugly things for me about this year is that I feel too influenced and too in contact with, but that's not the phrase that I'm looking for. I feel like I'm too closely aligned with the planner community in terms of planning instead of like more closely aligned with like my goals with my planner and what I need as a person, and planning like helps that, if that makes sense. Like my relationship with my planner has more to do with the community and the community that I'm building, friendships as well as follower count or what have you, rather than like how my planner is helping me interact with the world as a whole. So I've started thinking about this and I want to share a little bit with you guys, but I want to think about this more because it will have an effect on my planning system, right? Um, this isn't the case 100%, but if I were in this planner simply because of the community and I like um, stopped looking at Instagram, stopped posting to Patreon or posting to YouTube or anything, what would this planner look like, right? Um, a friend of mine, Salam Creative on Instagram, she posted a set of graphics, and the question was, if you were not a part of the planner community, what planner would you be using right now for 2024? Like whatever, it was an open question. And like that put in words a lot of questions and feelings that I have is what would my planner look like if I truly didn't care about the planner community and what they thought of my system, of trends, of my own mindset. Um, like what would it look like? And I don't want to take the planner community in account when I'm setting up my 2024 planner because truly the community does not get a say in what I do. Um, the planner community, while amazing and there are awesome people there, they do not get to have a say in what my planner is. Um, and I don't feel like I have acted in a way that would suggest that. Um, and I want to change that for 2024. Um, I, yeah, just to talk a little bit more about that. Um, One of my big goals, I think, for 2024 is definitely shifting my mindset in relationship to my planner and the planner community. Um, I don't know how controversial this is going to be, and so I apologize if I come across as rude or as in disagreement of something that you believe, but I'm truly trying to figure out my own relationship, and so I'm going to swing hard in the opposite direction than I currently am to try and then like find my own middle ground. So bear with me. I wrote out a little bit of notes so I can try and say this coherently. Um, I think that 2023 was truly a consumerist, materialistic mindset for the planner community. I don't think 2023 was alone in terms of years for consumerism mindset. I just think that a lot of it snowballed into this past year. I think this is such a physical tool hobby that you're always going to find like a problem or different levels of boundaries in terms of like stuff. What is a person willing to buy? Um, what is a person willing to be influenced versus inspired for? Um, However, I truly think that 2023 was a really bad year for it. All of the small businesses all came out with lovely 2024 planners, right? It started in 2023 with 2023 planners, but like it's spiraled and it's snowballed in 2023 for 2024. And the mindset behind consumers, or at least the consumers that I saw, and maybe it just speaks to like who's the loudest voice. Well, the more consumerism people, right? Perhaps. um but I see a lot of like, oh, I'm just gonna buy all the things to sell them later, right? Like I just want to try it. I just want to see if the size is good, and like if I don't like it, i'll just I'll just sell it later. And or the, well, I have to buy it just in case I'm going to want it later. And there's it's a pre-order, there's limited options, like, oh, or a limited time, like I only have 3 days to decide if I'm going to want something in 2024, but it's too many years out, or sorry, too many months out, that kind of thing. So like the panic of, I talked about this on my blog a little bit, but the the panic of I'm going to overbuy just in case. That's disgusting in my personal opinion. Like I fell victim to that and I was disgusted with myself, right? I was happily in pocket rings when I was like frantic buying stuff for 2024 that wasn't ring planning, um, on the just in case basis. And at least with like the Sterling ink pre-order, like I spent $200 and I'm not going to use any of the planners that I bought. I am reselling them and I am like disgusted with myself because of that, right? I did it with the Paper Test Designs releases, at least her undated release for some of the standard TN stuff. Um, like I have a whole list of 2024, specifically like 2024 dated items that I already have, and I will say 90% of these things I will not use, right? I bought in a panic and I'm now having a hard time emotionally letting them go just in case, even though I know that I truly don't need them. I worked through that Techo Kaiji video on Sunday and I have a system figured out, right? This ring planner and then a couple other things. I know what things I can get rid of, and yet I'm still emotionally attached to them because I bought them and I spent money on them and I wanted them. Um, I hate that I did that to myself. I am disgusted with myself. And it's not the small business's fault. Not at all. I am not saying that um, the small businesses should not be putting stuff out there because they want to and they want to be successful. I just think that the mindset of us who are consuming that stuff is like capitalist toxic just a little bit. Um, and I don't want to be in 2025 trying new things that I know won't work for me with the off chance that, oh, I'll just sell it if I don't want it. Like, oh, I just want to hold this pocket rings cover in my hand. And I know that 15 millimeter rings is too small for me, but maybe if I just like give it a go, it will like happen to work for me. And then if it doesn't, which I'm 90% sure that it won't, well, then I'll just resell it. I think that's a problem. Um, and other people are welcome to disagree with me, right? Like boundaries in terms of money and in terms of what you're willing to spend your money on are different for everybody. And so you're welcome to disagree with me, but that mindset has hurt me so much this year. I don't want to go through my rings, or not even my ring, my planner spending this year and total how much money that I have spent purchasing things just because I think it's cool or because I feel like I'm missing out if I don't pre-order something. Um, I also think that there's a lot of like decision fatigue in the community. I know like I get a lot of decision fatigue when there's too many options and there's not that big of a difference between one thing or another. Um, and you're basically tossing up like font in between two planner shops and it's like, "Ooh, well, what if I like this font of the writing in their planner better now versus maybe 6 months from now, like it'll be gross and I'll actually want like this typewriter font or something just to make up a random example. um and then like there's discontent there because I was like, I would have been like, oh well, if I had gone with the typewriter font for 2024 at the beginning, well then I wouldn't have this problem. No. For me personally, no. You would not have been better. There's just too many options on the market, which makes me think that I chose poorly, um, because I don't like this one tiny change that I thought I would like. And now I'm searching for like a different one. That could be entirely my own mindset, right? 100%. In not indecisive, but definitely like mood, mood shifter. It's really difficult for me to stay in one system right now. if I get bored with it, right? Which is one of the reasons I switched to rings, because it's easy to change parts out and make it seem new, but it's actually like the same system. Um, I feel like I'm getting off on a tangent, but yeah, I personally get bored very easy with things, and um, instead of sticking with something because it's the only one of its size, I personally have in the past felt validated by planner switching for no other reason than I got bored with something that actually really doesn't matter, like the font. As a random example, like I haven't interacted with this particular example, but like a font of a planner started bothering me, so I stopped using it because there was another option which had a better font for me in the moment. And I think that mindset is just the epitome of the planner community right now. Um, or at least for me, as I'm interacting with the planner community, that's what I see and that's what I feel. And I don't want to bring that with me into 2024. Um, and I know like this hobby is just supposed to be fun. And if you just want to switch planners just for the fun of it, like go for it, right? Like that's that that true that's yes, if someone wants to switch, I don't know, from like Hobonichi Cousin to Hobonichi Techo just because they feel like it halfway, 3 months, 1 month into the year, like just do it, right? It's a silly little hobby and it doesn't matter all that much. 100% true. But also, I don't want that for myself because that leads to um, more buying and unrestricted buying, no boundaries, and I am like hurting my financial goals and my like mental growth goals for myself when I do that. And I think it's just perpetuated by the planner community because I think it's partially celebrated. Um, some Getting something new and something interesting and something shiny, even from like myself included, is celebrated in the planner community simply because like it's new, it's exciting, and you can use it, and it's a tool. And I'm really trying now and going to try further in 2024 to like step away from that mindset and get back to um, working with what I have, right? Even if it starts to feel funky, trying to diagnose why it feels funky and adapt, trying to use the tools that I have, and not just like buying something as an answer to boredom. Um, and probably, like, to be perfectly honest, um, like because I feel like the planner community is so like this way, and I'm not calling anyone out in particular. Like I don't want people to like come into my comments and be like, well, you attack the whole planner community and actually you're wrong. You're welcome to say that to me, actually. But I feel like I just need to spend less time in the planner community because I am a person that is easily influenced. I am someone that looks at something shiny that someone else has and go, ooh, I want that. That'll fix this little problem that I have in my planner, instead of looking at what I have and seeing if I can come up with a different solution that solves the same problem. So, like, long story short, like that's the answer to this question that I had asked myself, that I really need to journal about and like articulate more because I felt like I got very rambly there. But it's basically like, what do I want my planner to look like in 2024? How do I want to interact with my planner in 2024? Um, and how does that affect my social media, my relationship with social media, and specifically Instagram in 2024. If I don't want to be influenced to buy something new or pre order planners that all look the same, well, what do I have to do to stop myself from doing that? Because I don't think that the planner community needs to take anything that I say and be like, okay, well, we need a whole mindset shift. Do I think that would be great? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? No. So what can I do for myself to get away from the ultra consumerism and the ridiculousness of overbuying, um, and like the idolizing of overbuying? What do I need to do for myself? Well, I need to get off those sites, right? I need to get off Instagram more often, like not share less, but linger less, you know? Um, and that kind of thing. Yeah, so that was a really long answer to what I'd hoped had been short, succinct, and to the point. But at the same time, like there's a lot of nuance with this issue, right? Um, as I said, like this is a hobby more than anything else. But for me, and so people are going to do what they want to do because it's a hobby, and I respect that in theory. Um, but at the same time, like for me, I do a lot of things in my planner because other people do it, or because I think Instagram will like it, or because I think I have to, because Instagram says. And I do, like, I spend a lot of time in my planner. And yes, it's because it's my hobby and it's my hyper focus, but also, like, it depends on what you think your relationship of your planner should be. Should your planner be a tool that takes the stress of remembering tasks and information and lets you have that brain power for something else like reading or spending time with your family? Or does your planner act as a way to spend time, right? I'm not going to say a way to waste time because that's not true, but a way to spend your days, right? Do you want your planner to take time away from you, or do you want your planner to give you back time that you normally would have spent thinking about things, right? Is your planner a tool, or is your planner your hobby? And I have strayed too far in the my planner is my hobby to the point where I think I'm wasting time fiddling with my planner when truly I could be using it more as a tool to give me back more time. And I think I want to get to that instead of the more hobby aspect. It brings me joy, right? I love this planner. I love the way that I've set it up. I think the way that I am holding information is really helpful to my brain. But there are some things in it, some things that require upkeep that take too much time. I don't want to calculate how much time I spend truly in my planner in a day because I think I'd be astounded. It is less in rings than it was in standard TN, right? One of the things that I hated about standard TN was how much time it took me to set up to actually use. But I think I can still do better. And I think the planner community, as it is right now, is more hobby and time focused than process and tool focused. And so I need to adapt my relationship with the planner community because of that. And I need to really adapt the way that my planner is because of that. Because, like, look at this. Like, there's a lot of stuff in here. I use 99% of this stuff, but could I simplify it so that 99% of this stuff was gone? Probably. And that would be a way to experiment and do new things that's not spending copious amounts of money on planner hopping. So, okay, moving off of that topic, but that was a set of questions that I wanted to ask myself as I was planning for 2024, because mindset has a big deal on planners, because like planners are part of our brains. At least for me, like my planner is my second brain, right? It is my external brain. So how I interact with it has everything, or how I want to interact with it has everything to do with the way it's set up and what I use in it. So I wanted to get that down as I was thinking about all these things and making changes for 2024. Because if I now know, I want to be more process and time efficient, well, then maybe I get rid of my inbox section because it could work the same as my brain dump section, like my notes section. And boom, I've cut out a page that I have to look at during my weekly review, right? Like that kind of thing. Um, but some like last final notes that I have here is I wanted to talk about why I know I definitely will enter 2024 in rings and this planner specifically. I did truly change planners twice this calendar year. So I have been truly in three separate planners this year. I've bought a lot of stuff. I've like thought and flirted with lots of other planners, but I've truly changed twice, had three different planners, um, and two of them rings. I think that I'm definitely going to um, go into 2024 in this planner. And one of the reasons is that there is so little startup energy moving years in a rings planner. Um, I haven't timed it yet. I'd love to, how much time it would take to transfer years, but I have timed my monthly setup. My monthly setup, if I'm going very slow, methodical, and I've got like a TV show on at the same time, takes about an hour total. From the beginning of from printing inserts all the way to like closing my planner, hey, I'm finished, is about an hour and a half ish. Um, I think rings, total setup time, from printing inserts to closing my planner saying, yep, I am ready to carry into 2023, including setup for January, like going from December to January. I don't think that'll take me more than 2 hours. Um, I have spent, and maybe it speaks to my system, right? That's absolutely a possibility. But I spent at least a full week, almost nonstop, setting up a planner before, mostly a bullet journal. But my TN system setting up for 2023 was still 5 or 6 hours, right? Because I did print some of my own booklets and date them because they were undated. And I just, like, that got to be too much for me. So I think I'm definitely going to be in this planner because I can start planner prep sooner and do it in chunks without like losing an entire, like the rest of my system. And I can also do it a lot faster. And I don't think it'll take much more than like my regular monthly review would. And then talking about that, like also one of the things that I love about rings is that I don't have to take a whole book or a whole set of inserts and be like, okay, I'm done with these. 2023 ended. I need like 100% new ones, right? I hate putting away that much information at a time. Um, it gave me a lot of stress to change inserts in my standard TN because I was basically throwing away in my mind so much information, like everything that I had touched in 3 months, up to like from 3 months even up to a year, I was throwing away, like object permanence. Like if it goes on the shelf, like you forget it's there. Um, and that was debilitating sometimes. I love that the only things that'll change in this are my monthly calendars and all of my dated monthly slash weekly inserts and dated monthly, daily, weekly inserts, right? All of my note pages can stay the same. All of my lists will stay the same. My projects, my finances, my reference information, like it. Carrie from I Heart to Plan said it best when she said, like, this is a continual planner or something along those lines. Like, it is a continuous notebook. You only have to remove part of it to set up for the new year. And I love that as someone who loves to keep things all the time. Like, that's amazing. Because starting a new notebook after getting rid of a full notebook truly feels crippling sometimes. Also, another thing that I really love about rings is that I have mostly undated inserts. except for the freebies from Peanuts Planner Co. for 2024 and her yearly dated bundle, and the Midori Hibino that I'm going to cut up for my daily pages again. Everything else that I have, I think, I say with an asterisk because I'm 99% sure, but there could be like one other insert in there or two. Everything else in my planner is undated, which means, and I've already purchased it, which means for the most part, I'm done spending money on my 2024 system. The 2024 monthly calendars were freebies from Peanuts Planner Co. My Midori Hibino was $65, and the 2024 dated inserts from Peanuts Planner Co. were $7, maybe less than 10, I believe. So I spent $75 on my full planner system for 2024. I am sure like here and there I will have to buy printer paper and ink for like refills for pens and like Stalogy paper, because this is cut down Stalogy paper. I really love it for note taking because it's thin. But that is all I spent. True, you can now come to me and say, Michaela, a Hobonichi Weeks is a lot less money than that. You would be 100% right. However, I cannot keep in a Hobonichi Weeks everything that I keep in this ring system without going absolutely nuts. I personally think this planner holds about 5 book-bound / notebooks worth of information, and I only have to spend, and I don't even have to, because I could get an undated daily for like $10 or less and never have to spend another dime on dailies. But I am choosing to spend $75 to transfer from 2023 to 2024. And for me, that is acceptable, right? Like that and only that, it is acceptable. I spent much, much more than that on switching years in my TN, or switching years in like the Hobonichi Cousin, because I would have to buy like dated stickers or other stuff, or a certain number of inserts to last me the year for TN. Like I needed that and what have you. So yeah, $75 is a lot, and it's probably more than a single book bound, but I have never held this much information in one book before. This, for me in standard TN, like this was a 4 or 5 book system, which would cost me significantly more than $75. So truly, if that's all that I'm spending to switch between years, like what's $75 divided by 366 days of the year, right? Way less than even 50 cents a day. I think that's economical for me. If I was not in rings, it would be more than that. And so for me, rings is an economical choice, both in time and money. So that's another reason that I am keeping it for the new year. Because I want to get to a place where it's a tool and I don't spend an incredible amount of money on that tool. Because like I have a cover that will last me a long time. I have a pen that will last me a long time. And I have undated inserts. So if I decided to stay in this system indefinitely, I could. And that sort of thing. So yeah, how much time and how much money do you want to spend setting up 2024 is another question that I would ask yourself. Yeah, this got a lot deeper than I was expecting it to. I wanted it to be like really cute and really fluffy, like here's my planner process. But it got deep and it got real, and it got personal. So I hope you guys don't mind. Okay, after asking all of those questions, I would then theoretically go print and cut all of my inserts, um, change out all of the yearly ones, um, set up my monthly the same way that I would, like switching from October to November, for example. Well, I do the same from December to January. The one thing that I would do differently is also have a yearly review, not just my planner, but the theoretical goals that I set, or like where I started in the beginning of 2023, what have I accomplished since then? Um, how do I want to take those accomplishments and work with them or develop them more or what have you? Set some um, goals, and then I'm ready for 2024. Um, I don't have to like date a whole planner. Um, I don't have to up any spreads, um, anything. I I just have to do a monthly review with a little bit of a couple extra inserts. And that's 2024. And that's how I'm going to set up for 2024. Um yeah. And that is about it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to share your comments in the comments below or your thoughts. I will happily take disagreement because we are all human and we all come to planning with different mindsets and different wants and different needs. I just ask that you be respectful. I hope that I was respectful to you, because as much as I do want to share my opinion, I don't want to do it in a way that hurts others. So yeah, please, I would love to hear your thoughts. And coming soon is my 2024 Tesho Kaiji. You might see some things that surprise you in there. And also coming soon is my So You Want to Start a Ring Planner series. And I'll try to make those a little bit more rapidly, because I know it's oh, so you want to start a ring planner? Well, here's what you do. And if you wait like 3 months in between videos, well, that's not good, right? If you're actually using it as a tool, I'm kind of like leaving you hanging. So I will try to push those out a little bit faster than what I've been doing recently, which is about like every 2 or 3 weeks. So I will let you guys know. With that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you for being here. Each and every one of you means so much to me, and I will see you next time.